flex. Thumb down that, check. No drip this, wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest.
Everything sounded good though.
Oh, you shut me out?
Yeah, because I was like, you're recording a lot of artists and stuff, and so like, I was telling the person I was doing the podcast with, like, that's a really good Instagram to go follow, and the podcast and like the video behind the scenes stuff, like that's what made me like interested in doing a podcast with you, and plus Chris Dina and stuff. So that's how.
Thank you.
That's how I got introduced.
I was surprised when you reached out. I was like, oh, you want to do an interview to me?
I was interested because like I really liked the style and because I really know, or I want to know more about like your editing process and behind the scenes stuff that people don't see. Because like when people see a music video, right, they see either they like it or they don't, but they see people having a good time. They see the visual effects, they see the scenery, and the artist, the music, whatever it comes with, but they don't really understand the process that goes behind it. And I think that is something that needs to be talked about more, is the process that goes behind or what it takes to actually film a music video and to produce really great content like that. And so that's why I reached out to you, because I think that's what people, for me at least, I'm interested in that, and I want to know, and I want to know the people behind the scenes.
No, it's hard, especially when you start doing it by yourself. It's hard because I have to do a video. A week, right? And I have to edit myself, and I have to shoot it myself, and I pretty much have to do everything by myself, and it's hard. Sometimes I go to sleep around 2 a.m. to just finish a video, because then I have something to do the next day. And then I'm working on the merch, and then on my clothing line, and I have to wake up early to have meetings. And then I'm the one who's reaching out to the artists. I'm the one who's sending emails, messages, everything, and I'm pretty much doing everything by myself now.
Yeah, I mean, I get that point. Like, I don't get, obviously I don't do this for money. This is for fun. This is like this is not like a career for me or anything like that. This is like a really fun way for me to have my form of self-care and to connect with people in the community and to, see where it goes. But lately, when I've been putting in the work, I've been having long nights. Like last night, I stayed up really late, and I have to go to work and work a full-time job during the daytime. And there's a lot of hours that you put into it, and it is tiring. And it's daunting sometimes. I get that feeling, that procrastination feeling coming, like, oh, I really don't want it. I'd rather go do something else, and then I end up doing that. I end up, playing a game or just go doing something when I know I need to be editing, because the editing process does take time. If you want good editing, like, how long does it take for you to edit a video or to edit whatever you're doing?
Because I didn't know how to edit. I will edit normal stuff, but I didn't know how to actually do the full editing. So that will take me, it started to take me like 3 to 4 days, and now it only takes me up to 1.5 days, pretty much. But if it's a long video or if it's a music video, that will take me 2 days, because I'm still learning the whole process of editing music videos, because it's different than the interviews that I'm doing. It's a little bit more different. Yeah.
So I realized I didn't even introduce you and give you a proper introduction. That's my fault. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Escape from San Francisco podcast. I got Ana Wavezzz here. You can follow her on Instagram under Wavezzz Ana. You can follow her on Instagram for her photography under Wavezzz _photography and Wavezzz _music.
Yep.
She's out here in the Bay Area. She's starting her thing of her podcast of like interviewing up and coming rappers here in the Bay Area and in San Francisco, and some that are pretty well established. She's also a really good photographer, and she knows how to edit videos, photos, and audio. So that's why I wanted to bring her on today. She also has a merch line, And so can you talk a little bit about the merch line that you have?
It's just like suede hats. They're limited edition suede hats. They're called 001 limited edition, and that's because of the first season that I'm doing for Waves Music. I decided to drop on each season a new merch line. So, for example, this one is suede hats, as the ones that I'm wearing. They're almost running out. They're selling fast, and I want to thank everybody who's been purchasing and who's been supporting me. But yes, it's suede hats. We also deliver if you guys want it to be delivered, and or if we can just give it to you, whatever you are.
I mean, that was like a really like creative way to get started in this process. You dropped a season that you're doing, and you dropped a merch with it, and that was like that's very creative. What made you think of that?
Um, I don't know. One day, cause I was gonna do a whole clothing line, right? I'm still gonna do a clothing line, and I'm working. I'm on the process of doing that, but I also wanted to do merch, and doing interviews it costs money. Like I'm pretty sure, like we were talking about how much everything costs, all this setup, everything costs money. In order for me to keep supporting the interviews, because the interviews is separate of what I actually do, I I was like, maybe if every season I do a different merch, right? I was like, it's limited edition, and that's gonna help sell faster than the people knowing, oh, we can get the merch tomorrow or the next day, or like they don't like want to buy it as much. But if I go like, oh, it's limited, because it's pretty much like it's until it lasts the series, which is ending in June. So in June we're gonna stop selling them. So regardless if it sells out or not, we're just gonna stop selling it.
Yeah, I mean that's genius. That's a way to support what you're doing. And yes, you are right. Equipment is expensive. Mics, the roadcaster to record the audio, the camera setup, everything. It takes time and money. And you are doing the interviews on the side. So what do you do primarily? What's like your main, like I guess title or job that you currently do?
At the moment, I'm doing music videos and editing. And sometimes I do regular videos that I don't put my name as much, because I only do it for like people not noticing, because it's not part of what I actually do. Because if I for example, if I put like I'm doing a commercial for freaking car Toyota, it's not gonna relate to music or what I'm doing. So that's why I don't like putting it on my pages. That's pretty much what I do: editing, music videos, and now I'm doing the interviews, which I like a lot. It's something that I've been investing my time as much, because I really really like. I enjoy it. I enjoy editing. I enjoy meeting people, asking them a question that everybody wants to ask them, which is, how do you start it? Have you given up before? Simple questions as that. And as you can see on my videos, I keep it 4 minutes. That's my goal. Is like, if I stand it to 10 minutes, it has to be a reason why I'm standing it to 10 minutes. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do, is just music videos, editing, and now doing interviews.
Yeah. So you're doing it big. I mean, you're doing your work, your freelance work, or whatever it is, and you're keeping true to the grind and the hustle, what it takes to be an editor. What got you into like your passion about music and music videos and the editing side?
My best friend at the time, Danielle, this was Berry. I used to work at Walgreens back in 2015. I met him at Walgreens, and then he was doing music, and I love film. Like I'm not much into a fan of doing music videos, but that was a door for me to learn. Um, he he was like, hey, you do music videos. I sing. maybe, we can start something. And then I made a music video for him. Horrible music video, by the way. If you don't ever watch that music
Can you find it
video.
on YouTube?
Yes. It's under his page is Berry. I went to New Orleans to shoot that video. It was horrible, dude. It was
Well, but
horrible.
that's what you needed to do in order to make that step, right? So what were some lessons that you got from making that music video?
Not rush. I think I rushed it too much because we were on a trip, right? And then we had a lot of things to do, and then we rushed it. And the music videos shouldn't be rushed. And then I just rushed it, and especially if it was my first music video, I just shouldn't have rushed it. That's one of the biggest experience I had that I learned.
And so what happened after you made that music video? What became of it for you in your journey?
After that, I just started learning more. I started studying more how to shoot better angles and how to, find the right equipment for me. Because at the time I was shooting with I think it was a Nikon D3300 camera. It was really cheap camera. It was like $300-$400. But the issue wasn't the camera, because you can have the cheapest camera and still have the best quality. It's not the camera that is the person that shoots it. But for me, I learn a lot by studying the angles that I needed to shoot. And then from there, I did another music video for him. Comparing from the first one to the second one, I was actually proud of how the second one came. There was like a lot of angles on that music video, like on the car. I had to hop on the truck to get an angle, like on the back to get an angle. I had to get out of the car because we were shooting at a like a really dark area, like it was a park, but it was really really dark. And I had to get out there, and I was like, he had his headphones on, and I had my headphones on, so we can communicate, because it was scary, because we were alone it was in Oakland, and that music video came out right, but if I watch it, it's not how I wanted it. But you can see my improvement every time I drop something. You can see I'm always improving.
So how much or how many music videos have you been a part of, and how many have you created so far?
I have created, like, I'll say 6 of them, and I've been part of them, part of a lot of music videos that I like watch and help out. But I don't like to put my name on it, because I'm not the one who shot it. But I created like 6 music videos. And the latest one I did, it was with Dina, Dina Aro. She hooked me out with Lani. I forgot. I think that's his name, Lani, and some other artists that came from Atlanta. And I did a music video for him that I'm currently editing. Let's see how that comes out.
I mean, that's how it is. You kind of by word of mouth, you do really good work. Someone else sees it, they're like, hey, you could do that for me, right? But then that goes into like the business. So now you're in the business of this. And are things different than what you thought they were before you started?
It is, because I'm a girl. And if I do music videos like hip hop and rap, the majority of the camera people, they're men. And they don't give you as much as opportunities as how they give to men. I don't know. They just don't. Like, I was gonna do a music video, and I'm actually shooting another music video this month. And one of the questions that I was asked, that there's going to be girls and weed, and and I was like, cool. And they will ask me, would I feel uncomfortable? And I just hate every time when somebody will ask me, because I'll be like, I'm there to shoot a video, right? I don't care what you have, what you don't have. I'm there to do the work, finish the work, and leave. And I'll be like, that's the question that you don't ask. If it were a male cameraman, you won't ask that. And a lot of times when they reach out to me at Ana Wavezzz, my page, they will always like, hey dude or sir. Like they don't realize that, because it's rare to see someone who's doing this that's a female. You don't see that as much.
Do you personally know like any other like music video directors or producers or anything like that that are women?
In the
in the field?
city, no. No, if there is, um but I haven't heard of anyone. I just started as well doing the Waves music thing. Maybe eventually I'll have somebody, I'll learn about somebody. But at the moment, I have not have the pleasure of meeting someone that makes music or does interviews like me.
Well, you're the first music, producer creator that I've interviewed for a podcast and actually met in person because I don't know any. So that's great, and I'm glad that you set your boundaries and you let it know, how it is, and you don't take like it seems like you don't take crap from people, and that you're there about business, and that's how it should be. You're there to make something creative and great content and work for your client or for the rappers or for artists, whoever that you're working with at the time, and to show them that you have value too, and that you're more than just than a name or camera or editor or producer, whatever you are, whatever roles that you have at that day. And so that that transcends in your work that you produce. And so that's what I saw, and it caught my attention on Instagram. So that's why I reached out to you as well, because I was just like, I seen your transitions, I seen the the way that the videos flow and the conversations that you're having, and I was like, who is this person? Like, this person seems like she knows what she's doing. Like she has it down. And I was just like, how come she doesn't have that many followers yet? Like, when is this gonna blow up? Like, that's what I was my thing. I was just like, what? It didn't make no sense to me, because I was like, your skills were like, you're on another level compared to other things I've seen before, and I've seen some really bad music videos, some really bad ones. And there's nothing worse than having a good song and a bad music video.
Honestly, in January, I was going through a lot. And what I mean, I was going through a lot. A lot of things happened to me in 1 month. And at the time, I had already quit. Not quit, but I distanced myself with Waves, with my partner, Danielle de Sewsbury. And I wanted to get back in the game. And I was feeling like in order for me to improve myself, I needed to be consistent. Like I said, the first music video that I shot, it was the first music video. It was horrible. And I did another one, it was better. And if I were to do more and more and more, I would be better, better, and better. We went to New Orleans, we shot a third one. It was not how the second one, it's not how I wasn't proud of it as I was about the second one. And then we shot another one for Kim. And then eventually I just decided to just like step back and just try not to rush it. So in January, I had already stepped back from Waves, and I was going through a lot, and in my personal life, a lot of things happened in pretty much 1 month, or I'll say in 3 weeks. It was a bad news over bad news over bad news, and I was on a point where I was like, that's like it was a point for me to decide either make it or break it. And so in January had been I would say 7 months since I got a camera in my hands. And then that day I just grabbed my phone and I shot a video of me making coffee. And that was the first video I did that I liked it. And I felt like, okay, I'm not gonna rush myself to get back into it. And then I did another video, is short clips that I'm doing. And then one day I was sitting at home and I was getting better mentally. And then I reached out to Oser, and I was afraid he would say no because he's getting really big. And he was the first person that I reached out to, and he's the first person who said yes. I will do the interview. Just tell me when. I did the interview with him, and then after that, it's just like an artist after artist after artist. That's been artists that have been reached out, artists that I have like sent them a message, but mostly artists that they will see my work, and they'll say like, hey, if you can add me, I'ma kill it. Just add me on the interviews. Unfortunately, I can't add them because I decided to only do like a season of it, so it's only 11 artists to make more sense, and so I can have more audience in. It's just like marketing wise, it makes sense. But I'll say that I started doing that only. I started doing the whole video and everything, and I'll always say I'll say 5 months ago, because I don't want to count the years prior, because I feel like I didn't learn anything. I'm counting only the months from January, from the first bad news that I had onto today.
I mean, that's a journey to get to that point, and that's perseverance and coming over adversity and everything. And I understand things happen in your personal life that could shake you and it could change you, and either you sink or you swim. And you decided that I wanted to give it another shot and use my creativity skills and then just go out there and do something. But you sound like a typical like artist that's like struggling with your creative side, and that's a good thing, because it's really hard to make something over and over and over and over again. We're not robots. We can't do it. Our creativity, our levels like drop, and we have to take some self-care. We have to get our mental side right. We have to do other things other than the work that we do in order to be okay. We have to have that balance in our life. And when it's all work, and you don't allow yourself for other things, or things happen in your life, it's really hard, and it makes you unbalanced. And I've been there plenty of times. To me, this is an outlet for me. This is my way of being creative. This is my way of I talk too much. I love to talk. I love to listen, hearing people and stuff. I used to be a counselor before, so like I have those skills. Like I love doing this. But it would probably be way different if I got paid to do this, like would I still love it as much? Yeah. Would I still wake up and like, all right, who am I going to get next? Or who, like, I can't wait to edit this, or I can't wait to, make a Instagram post, or
you stop enjoying the moment.
It starts to be, I don't know if that would change for me, or would it be where I'm like even more motivated to go do it. Right. So it's like, you have to find the balance of what actually works and what doesn't work for you, and what capacity you could have at the time, right? Do you have capacity to do this, and do you have the mental strength to go out there and do the grind? Because it is a grind. So how long does it take to film one music video, or how many hours do you have to put in?
That really depends on the artist. What is it that they want? The one that I'm gonna shoot, that's gonna take 2 days, and I'm gonna have 2 camera people, because it's gonna be really big. And that actually is editing. I have the whole production 2 days, and then editing, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be 3 to 4 days, and then I have to send that person revisions. They have to check the editing. Oh, okay, I like it. No, take out this. And then they have to give it back. They have to resend it to me. And then I have to be like, okay, cool, this is what they want. And then fix the revisions, and then resend it again, and to make sure that we have what they want. And then if they didn't like it the second time, they will tell me, and then I'll have to do it. So I do 2 revisions, 2 to 3 revisions, and then which is gonna be like 3 days. That depends how fast they see it. So for a music video that I'm gonna do this month, that is gonna be a whole 7 days just for one music video.
And that's a lot of time, but you get paid for this, right? That's
Yes.
your chart. So this is something that you're putting in time, but there is, you're already getting compensation for it, which is good. And it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Like I talked about earlier. Does it motivate you less? Does it make it more stressful? There's all these factors that go into it. 7 days, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. I don't know if people realize you're filming and all that. Get into like the technical side of film and audio production and all that. Like how much memory are you gonna have from that, right? People don't realize if you're filming in 4K, you're getting like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gigabyte of storage, and having to transfer from one to another and transferring back and forth to the person you got hired to do the job for, and it's a lot of tedious work. You have to wait for it to upload, and you have to wait for it to download, and there's a lot of behind the scenes work that I don't think a lot of people realize too, because it seems like you wear a lot of hats. Like you are a creative director for some parts. It seems like you're the producer, you're the editor. You have to manage a crew to help you get the right angles and right footage, and also you have to be a people person because you have to make sure the person's happy and satisfied with the work that you're doing. How are you able to manage all of this?
I don't know. I don't even know. Dude, I don't even know. Like I said, when I started doing this with my partner, I wasn't enjoying it as much. But now I'm actually enjoying the ride, and I don't know how I managed to do everything. I just do it because I love it. Before I didn't, I loved it, but I didn't love it as much because I didn't had a lot of say to what happens. But now I'm just enjoying it, that I don't feel like the time passes. Like if I have to edit a video, like I just enjoy it.
That's where it should be, right? That's the type of work you should do. You should do it where you don't care about the time, or the time doesn't really affect you as much. I've been in some really shitty jobs and in places where I knew every minute of the day because I'm waiting for it. I'm like, oh, is work over now? Can I take a break now? Can I, you're constantly on edge. You're constantly miserable, and it just makes life suck. Like I can't complain too much. I had money. I paid my bills. I had, things like that. But you always thought there had to be more than just what you did. Finding purpose is really hard for people, to truly find the purpose of what you want to do in life. It's something I think people struggle with their entire life. I know that I still struggle with it from time to time. I thought I wanted to do something 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Looking back 10 years to where I'm at now, like, totally different from what I thought the path I was on, right? And this is a new venture. Maybe I'll go on a different path now. So like finding that purpose, finding what works for you, and unleashing that creative side of you is like, damn, like how do I get to that point, right? How do I, it's like, but you could capture it though. The way you film and everything, how do you capture the moment? Like when you're there and you see, like, how do you pick out the spots that you want for the camera angle, or how do you pick out how you want them to be positioned, the lighting? What kind of factors play into that?
That's the pre-production thing that I always write. What are the shots that I want? I was supposed to do a music video, but I think it was this week. What's today? The 12th. Yeah, it was this week. But the artist had to cancel because something happened personally. His music video, he had to come over to the studio where I make my meetings, where I shoot the interviews, and with him, we had 2 hours talk of what is it that he wants, and we needed to check the angles, or I needed to see, okay, this is what I need, this is what we're gonna do, and then we both like started creating the whole scenes of what we're gonna do. The I did one for Lani G. That's the one that Dinaro hooked me up with to do the music video. That one I didn't had a lot to say in it because I was actually just covering a videographer. So it was a last minute thing that they needed me. It was the 420 show for the 420, and for that I didn't have like a lot of say to what to do or not, what to shoot or not, what angles to shoot, and it was hard because okay, I'm there, but they already have a whole idea for what is it that they want, and I liked it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. But for me, I learned to not ever do something like that again because I didn't enjoy it, and my biggest mistake for when I stopped doing this is that I was doing things just because somebody needed me to do it, right? And I should have learned, and I should have learned from what happened last year. And maybe I just needed to do that music video for a reason. Maybe to remind myself that hey, you don't need to say yes to everybody, right? You're gonna, like you said, you're gonna stop enjoying it, like you did a couple months ago. Just do it because you want it and you enjoy it. I mean, I thank them for the opportunity. I'm still editing their music video, and I still like every time like, hey, thank you for the opportunity, because the fact that they actually reached out to me, and they're like, oh, can you just cover? But I feel like I didn't had a lot to say or what angles to shoot or anything.
So now you know it works. Like some people might like that. They might not like the whole pre-production part of it where they have to make sure everything is set up right and whatnot. They just like to go there and shoot and be done, and get on with it. For you, you like to set it, you like to have creative direction in whatever which way. And it makes it more meaningful and impactful on the work you do. So that's something that I think is very like understanding. That's not a knock. That's like understanding. You know what you want, and learning how to set boundaries, learning how to say no, because it's really hard when you start off in any field or any new thing. It's you always want to say yes, 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 because you want to get better, you want to improve, you're excited to do the work. But if you're not ready for it, or if it's not that interesting to you, you're gonna set yourself up for failure. And I've done that to myself many times because I'm always want to jump in it, right? I'm always wanting to go for it. And I'm not a person that ever does anything like 50%. I have to go 100% when I do something. And that's not a good thing sometimes. Like it gets me in bad situations where I'm stuck with the deadline, or I'm stuck doing something I don't like. And I'm just like, man, I don't, why am I doing this again? I have to remind myself, like, why am I doing this? And understanding that I got myself into that situation. Don't do that again. But I always end up doing it again. I always get stuck in that situation. I hate it.
I told you not to do it again.
But it's just something that it just happens. It's just like my personality. It's like I don't like saying no, and it's like something that I struggle with. Saying no is like really hard for me. But you have to look out for yourself sometimes. I know that's selfish, but you truly do come first in your life, and you have to be like that, because you can't be there for anyone else, or you can't do a work, the best work you can do if you're not okay with yourself, or you're not there for yourself. And if you allow other people to take, control over that, then that's where your work suffers, and that's where life becomes, miserable at times.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm grateful for, because I'm pretty sure Dina was the one, Dina RO was the one that pretty much said, oh, I know, like she hooked me up. I'm pretty sure, like I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong, I'm really thankful for that opportunity, but a lot of things happened. We shot it at a hotel, at the Hilton Hotel, and a lot of shit happened, and I wasn't happy of how the video came up, like, cause I was supposed to shoot on the hotel only like behind the scene footage, B-rolls, but we got kicked out of the room, and I'm an artist, right? And as in, I love to shoot videos. I love to make it look like a filmmaker. Like I consider myself a filmmaker. Even like the small clips that I do, like the latest one that I do, like with the phone on the tree, like the whole thing has a sense, right? That everything has a meaning. And when we got kicked out, I just felt like I'm getting into the field of doing this, and then we just got kicked out because we were loud or we were doing this. It doesn't look right, right? It's just like, okay, it's something that's gonna happen because it's rap, hip hop, and it's music videos. But then when it comes to me editing, there's not gonna be enough of footage of me to edit. And like I said, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm even more thankful because it reminded me that I should always do things because I like them and because I will enjoy it.
That's, the key to success for me, or to happiness, is to do things that you enjoy. And sometimes we do things we enjoy that are not good for us. So it's a catch 22 sometimes. I do kind of want to get into like the technical aspects of what you do. What bit rate do you record at? Are you at 20 or 2398, or do you record at 30p? Do you record at 60 frames?
I do 29, 30, but sometimes I do 24.
So for people that don't know, what's the difference from like 29, 30, and 24?
That's pretty much how you start shooting on a camera. If like on your phone, you see how your phone, it has like the side of bit rates, right? It has 24, 30, and 60. And then 24, it's normally the bit rate that filmmakers use. It's always 24. So when you shoot on the 30, if you see like it's more faster, but it doesn't have that fluid thing of making it look like it's normal. So when we shoot at 30 and we put the video on a 30, it's not gonna look as normal because the human eye, it's used to seeing frames at 24.
I get that. Like I did not know anything about this until like past couple months of just like doing the podcast, video podcast and stuff, and researching and seeing what I like. I personally like 30 frames because I don't know, to me it just looks better.
Mm-hmm.
But 30 frames work best for me, like when I'm doing like a vlog style, like when I'm walking outside and I'm getting video of like whatever it might be. 30 frames work best for me. Mm-hmm. Like it just helps with like the motion and stuff like that. On 24 frames, for me, it just seems like it's just like makes me like dizzy. It just makes that's just like my point of view, but like I know everyone's different. I try to shoot in 24. I try to shoot in 30. I'm trying to see what I actually like for like a still frame. Like we're not moving too much. We're like still right here. Our background is still. It's not moving. There's not like crazy things happening here. So I'm trying to play with that to see what I really like. I know 24 is more of like the film industry standard. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to learn how to film with 4K. I'm trying to learn the difference from filming 4K and filming 1080 and things like that. But I also learned that with the higher resolution comes a higher storage rate. And if you don't know anything about storage rate, especially when you're doing your editing, if you don't have a external disk when you're editing on, say, a MacBook or something like that, and you only have a 250 gigabyte storage, when you edit in like Final Cut Pro, it's rendering. So if you don't have it saved a certain way, you're gonna be like, what the heck, my disk is full. And that happened to me, and I was frustrated. I was like, what? I don't have any files in there. Like I didn't get it. And then I had to research and watch some tutorials and realize. Ask
YouTube Academy.
Oh yeah, I use Ripple. Ripple helps me out a lot because I use Final Cut Pro. But I had to ask a buddy of mine, William Smith. He's also a audio video producer, and he broke it down and stuff like that. He's been in the game for a little bit, but just learning those little things, the little nuances that go behind the scenes. I do cherish those now. Just learning. I wish I would have documented it because my journey from knowing nothing, because I didn't go to school for anything. You know, I don't know any editing. I'm all taught on YouTube. And
look at you with the road.
I don't even know how I found this. Like I saw an Australian guy do a product review, and I was like, yeah, I think I want that. You know? I was like, I think that's gonna make me.
I saw it and I was like, I need to have that, because I'm gonna start doing my podcast, and I was like, I need that. That's gonna help with the pre-production and after production. I really like it. It
really works. What I like, you could bring in audio to it. Like I showed you earlier, you could play Bluetooth. You could bring in music, whatever it might be. You could record directly onto it. You could have it set up to your phone or your camera or whatever, so you could capture the audio from all of it. You could adjust 4 levels of it. It's just, I like it a lot.
This is not sponsored, by the way.
I wish.
Rode hasn't sponsored us.
I wish. But that being said, I started recording on my phone. Like my first podcasts were on my iPhone. I just recorded there. I had the Anchor app, and I just opened the Anchor app and just I already recorded. Then I started using Audacity. Have you ever used Audacity? Yeah, Audacity is shit. It's free. Like if anyone ever wants to start a podcast, all you need is headphones, a basic mic. You could get Audacity if you have a laptop. Or if you don't have a laptop or anything like that, just use your phone and you could just record off there. And I uploaded. It was horrible. Like my first podcast was I did it not in person. It was over the phone, and it was on the Audacity app. And we were trying to wait for each other to talk, and we were talking over each other. There was a lot of pauses. My friend was driving to work, so it was all this noise, background noise. It was just it was a mess. But as the beginning ones went on, I'm starting that progression into getting better, into finding my flow, my craft, and stuff like that. And are you starting to see that for yourself?
Yes. For the interviews that I do, from the first one with Ozer, I shot it at my house, and from the first one to the last one, I can see the improvement, the way it shots, the cameras feels like a higher resolution camera. The way it's edited, I take more time on it. Because I didn't know how to edit as much. I didn't know how to edit. Our music videos, it was shot by Trey, he's from Oakland. He will help us. He's from the 50/50. I forgot the name. But Trey would help us with the editing, so I never had to worry about editing. And so it was until I started doing the Wavezzz music by myself, and I slowly start separating myself from Wavezzz, because that's something that I wanted to talk about, because Wavezzz and Wavezzz Media is different, and I will eventually change the name for Underground Wavezzz Media. But Trey would help me out with the editing, and I didn't have to worry. And now with me doing the interviews, I had to learn everything by myself. And I have to use YouTube Academy. And I call it YouTube Academy because I would use my tablet and learn how to cut. Because I didn't even know how to, because I started using Adobe Premiere. And before I used to use the Apple one. What's it called?
It's iMovie?
The Cut Pro.
Oh, Final
I started
Cut?
with the iMovie,
Yeah.
and then I went to Cut Pro. And then I started to do the Adobe Premiere. And I would go on YouTube. How to cut a video.
Yeah, you have to.
How to add music, or how to copy and paste it, or how to add color on the letters. Or it was scary, because when you open it and you see a lot of things in it, I would just look at it and just close it. And I was like, nah, I'm not even gonna try.
Well, I don't know if people understand too. If you never edited, iMovie, a lot of people are familiar with iMovie, because if you have an iPhone, it's just standard on there. You go and edit. It's really simple. Then you go to Final Cut Pro, and it gets a little bit more complicated, but Final Cut Pro is really still simple. But when you go to Premiere, because I have Premiere too, and I've been trying to learn all of them. Premiere is so complicated. I have no freaking clue how to do certain things. You have to learn how to scale. You have to learn how to like jump cut and out cut and color grade and making sure that you have overlays that come in at the right time and making sure that everything's doing good. But then you get to that point where you finish and then now it has to render and you have to like download it, and it takes like fucking 6 hours, and that's if Premiere Pro doesn't crash on you. And so it's a pain in the ass, and so you have to make sure you saving. The good thing about Final Cut Pro, it saves automatically for you and stuff, so I never lose any project with Final Cut Pro. But with Premiere, a good thing I don't do nothing crazy, or I don't do any paid content.
The first time I edited a music video with Premiere Pro, it was for Oser video. I was on YouTube, like, hey, how do simple questions. How do you cut? I was on a computer for 4 days because it was the first video, and then it got lost. And you know how you said that it would save automatically? I don't know if I didn't set it up, it didn't save. So when it was the time for me to upload the video, the day prior, I needed to check the video, and I was looking for it. The video wasn't there, and I needed to drop the video the next day. So it was me finding the video the whole day, and then I was panicking, and I was apologizing to Ozer because I felt like I was not gonna meet the deadline. And mind you, when I said deadline, is I put myself a deadline. This is the day that you're gonna finish it. This is the day you're gonna publish it. And I just lost it. The video wasn't there. It got lost.
It's hard. Like, I'm learning now. Like, I go back to my buddy William Smith. He's telling me he has like a system put in place. Like, you have to have a backup solution. You have to make sure that it's put in the right place, because if you're doing this for money, you have to be ready for anything and everything to go wrong, and making sure, especially if you have deadlines and you have clients and you have stuff like that, you have to be on point, and you can't just be like, hey, you paid me, but like,
I lost it.
I don't have it no more. I'm sorry. Like, that just doesn't fly, right? That just doesn't work anywhere. But like, even now, like, I still like mess around with Premiere Pro, and I don't even know the shortcuts. I just go into like the blade tool and I go cut, and I have to go back to the other tool, and it's just like a tedious process. All like those editors are all kind of like similar, but they all have different kind of plugins, and they all have different like shortcuts and stuff like that. The tools are all kind of similar, but it's like just putting it together. That's what I do enjoy. But it seems to me like you're self-taught too, right? You didn't go to school for this or anything like that?
No, I didn't. Just YouTube Academy. I think YouTube should sponsor me.
They should. I mean, that's what makes it even
How many times have I said YouTube?
Exactly. I don't think YouTube doesn't even want to sponsor anyone. Like, they're like in our backyard out here, and they don't want to sponsor us. But it's people like that, like me and you, that are just like self-taught, just trying to learn how to do this. And with I'm getting help from other people as well. I'm learning from others. I'm taking on roles. I took on an internship with psychosocial media. I'm gonna be one of their audio and video interns, and so I'm putting myself in these positions so I can learn the craft and hone my tools. Like learn how to get better at what I do. So eventually, I can get to the point where I can freelance, or I can make money doing this. Because if I like to do this, I can make some money doing this. I can make some really good. I think I can make creative, quality pieces for people, and I don't know where that could take me. Maybe I could go in a different direction. I don't have to work where I do work at right now, and so there's like a lot of factors that play into it. So that's why I took that on. I also took on another position doing something else, like still within the audio and video editing scene. So like this space is it doesn't, you don't have to, like, my whole thought process before was like, you have to go to school, you have to get a degree. That's the only way you could ever do anything, right? I didn't think you could do this unless you went to school for it. Then I realized you have YouTube, right? Again, saying YouTube again. You have your computer, you have resources.
You can be anything nowadays. If you want to learn something, just go to YouTube or ask people.
I caution that though. You have to make sure that you're putting in the right type of work though. Because
Yeah.
there's so many gimmicky, like, I could teach you how to do this in 15 minutes. And then you realize like,
It's not 50 minutes.
it's not going to take you. That's going to take you about a month to learn and actually digest all this information.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't sell yourself short on some of these things. And I've done that to myself plenty of times. And I'm frustrated because I didn't learn how to do something in 15 minutes. And then I realized this person teaching that took them years to learn what they're teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a learning curve and there is a process behind this. And it's good to document your journey and to see your start and where you're going to be at within, next year's time. I can't imagine where you're going to be at with your brand and your clothing, and your hats and the interviews, the music videos and all that. And I'm excited to see where that next step is for you.
No, I'm really excited of what I'm gonna do next. Since I'm separating with Waves, with my partner, I decided to exit our business that we built together, and that's because I realized that I wanna take this to somewhere I don't even know, right? I wanna take this far. I don't wanna put myself in a position where I have to keep asking, hey, is it okay if I do this? Hey, is it okay if I do that? So I decided to exit my partnership with this Sewsbury, and now I'm gonna call Waves. At first it was Waves, and then I changed it to Waves Media because I wanted to do podcasts, interviews, filmmaking, pretty much media. And I decided to change it with media. But then I feel that in order for me to progress more and be myself, I needed to exit the partnership and start my own thing, and that's going to be called the Underground Waves Media. That's going to be the new title for our company. It's not longer going to be Waves Media. It's going to be Underground Waves Media. This one has 3 C. The other one only is going to have 1 C. And that's because I decided to exit, and I decided to give him the name of the company, so that way I don't have to deal with anything of that. And I was just going to take with me 1 logo because we have 6.
Well, I'm excited for your journey and where you're going on next. I know that's a risk, stepping back from something that you built and everything. This is all about taking risks though in life and trying something for yourself and not settling for, just being okay. It's taking a leap of faith and believing in yourself and believing that you can, do more and will do more. And so that's what it takes. I appreciate you coming on the podcast today. It was a really great conversation. I don't know you at all, and so it was really good meeting you for the first time. That's the thing about podcasts. I reach out to people, and it's like we just have a conversation, and that's what I really like.
Whoever said no to this guy, this guy is awesome. Whoever said no to you, they don't. I don't know.
It's all good. I mean, if they say no, I get it. I'll interview those people in the future.
They're gonna ask you to be interviewed. Watch.
I'm probably gonna say yes. I probably will say no. But I appreciate it. Where can people find you at again?
So for the interviews that I spoke about early, it will be at Waves at Waves_music. For my filmmaking and whatever stuff that I do, it's going to be at Waves_Ana. I'm still keeping Waves for the moment. I will eventually try to see if I can change the name for those pages, but for now it's gonna be at Waves_music and at Waves_Ana_Waves, right? Did I just no at Waves_Ana. You can find me there if you guys are interested on music. It's going to be at Waves Music.
Just wanted to make sure I got that up there in the camera so they could see. All right. Thank you, Ana, for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.